I think that's us, the folks, is it? Good evening, everyone. And thank you once again for joining us in our Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. First thing this evening, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone. We've reached that 300 figure in subscribers, and that's despite our social media sites being attacked. So it's a milestone for us. It's an achievement. Thank you all very much, and please continue to share Aaron's story. Please continue to share the campaign. We need more people to subscribe and hit the notification button. It does make the site stronger. It helps with the algorithms, and it helps us get Aaron's story out to the public. It is very important that Aaron's story out there. This campaign, these videos, won't physically get Aaron out of Portlaoise, but it will create the pressure on those who have put him there illegally, and those people who have framed their son for a murder and robbery he had nothing to do with. And those figures are vitally important. So please click on the notify and click on the subscribe button. And thank you for helping us reach the 300. I suppose maybe in a few days we'll look and see if we can make that push for the 500. But this evening we're very happy with those people who have subscribed. Now, these live videos, as you are aware, are being created to create a library for you, the public, and anyone who is investigating or following Aaron's story or creating a story behind the scenes. So you have a library and a point of reference for each of the different aspects of the case. So first live looks at the theft of the vehicle allegedly used in the murder and robbery. Then we went to the murder scene and the burn site. And the last video we done on Tuesday evening just past was on the gang, a fictional gang created by the authorities. Well, they didn't even create a gang. They didn't have 5 people. And they don't have 5 people. So they didn't even create a gang. That's how farcical this whole case is. But we focused on how Senior Counsel Brendan Graham and senior members from Garrick Síochána just mentioned names in court. People that had nothing to do with anything, but in the ether and in the air, they created a gang that simply does not exist. So this evening we're moving on to the American aspect of the case, and to give people an idea of the different protagonists that was involved there, and again give you a point of reference. And today we're going to have a look at predominantly Christopher, the lawyer, and his cousin Anthony, and their relationship with Daniel Cahill, and how those people were linked, and how they told lies to save their own skins in New York. So a very brief rundown on the situation with Christopher, Anthony and Daniel Cahill. I suppose the best way to explain it briefly, and I think we've nearly 20 videos, a list underneath this video, and these relate predominantly to Christopher and his cousin, and some of the interactions with Daniel Cahill that these two men had, how it was all put together. And obviously we'll mention in the live shortly about Christopher's involvement with Sinn Fein councillor Anton Watters, and how that affected the case. So it's as simple as that, this in relation to these 3 men. Senior Investigating Officer, Mr. Mark Phillips. Senior Investigating Officer, Pat Marry. Senior Detectives, Bobby Ogle, Paul Gill, and Jim McGovern. These are sort of the 5 main people that were involved with these 3 criminals who give statements against Aaron. And I say they were criminals because, very simply, when Phillips, Marry, Ogle, Gill, and McGovern were sitting in front of these people, when they were questioning them, whether it be in an SUV on a street in Manhattan, or in an office in Manhattan, or in a storeroom in Manhattan, Phillips, Marry, Ogle, Gill, and McGovern knew the person they were looking at directly across from them was a criminal. And they were illegal immigrants who should have been deported. should have been deported immediately. And there was obviously Homeland Security agents with Marry, Ogle, Gill, Phillips and McGovern. These people were complicit for whatever reason, whatever lies on Garda Síochána told the Homeland Security officers, they were complicit in allowing illegal immigrants and criminals to stay in America. And they were rewarded for their lies. And the videos below detail all the interactions and highlight and show clearly the lies that were told. And the reason why we had focused on Christopher in a number of videos is very simple. Because the lies Christopher told in relation to his alleged interaction with Aaron Brady, a very late night, early morning meeting in a pub in New York, where Christopher said he met Aaron Brady. Aaron wasn't in the pub that night. But Christopher, you liar, you scumbag. Aaron's sister was sitting in the pub that night. So unless you want to contradict me, Christopher, and Pat Marry and Bobby Ogle, who interviewed you, the three of you are liars. Your statements and your testimony is absolute lies and perjury that led to a conviction that is unsafe and a total disgrace to the Irish justice system. And Christopher's testimony never came to pass in court because of the despicable behaviour of Ogle and Marry on how they created the identification of Aaron when they were investigating or taking the statement from Christopher. They showed him an A4 sheet of paper with Aaron Brady's picture on it and said, "Who's that?" And of course, Christopher said, "It's Aaron Brady." It's a total disgrace. All rules, regulations, any moral code was totally bereft of these people. So that's all detailed in the videos below. We had the situation where Anthony, a first cousin of Christopher's, told a tissue of lies too in a farcical statement that will come to light, I'm sure, in the near future. A complete farcical statement he told. And then Anthony went to his lawyer in America, said he didn't want to have anything more to do with the Aaron Brady case, that he was put under severe duress by the authorities to make a false statement. And Brendan Graham, senior counsel for the prosecution, was party to that. And he took the blame for not bringing forward that letter. He thought it was of no consequence, that they had a witness telling the Irish state that they were put under duress to make false statements. And Brendan Graham, senior counsel for the state, thought, we'll not bother with that. We don't want to be troubling people with the guards intimidating people and getting them to make statements. And then we shown clearly the link between Anthony and Daniel Cahill. Anthony was with Daniel Cahill the night they attacked Aaron in 28 First Street. Again, it's a video I'm sure most of you have seen. So we also have a number of videos listed below where we're looking at Pat Marry's podcast that was created in homage to him, Making of a Detective. And please, if you do have time, listen to, I think it's episodes 9, 10, 11 and 12. 58 Seconds in Lordship, I think it is the first of them. And Pat Marry has the nerve to eulogise about Christopher coming forward because he had contacted a Sinn Fein councillor in the Cooley Peninsula, Anton Watters. Now, you will see from the videos below when you look through them, we did contact Anton Watters. He did agree to meet me, and then he sent me a text message and asked me never to contact him again. And Chris, he knows now, Anton Watters Sinn Fein councillor, knows at this moment in time that the information that Christopher, his friend, gave about him is a pack of lies. And we still await some contact from Anton Watters. I did also give a detailed booklet to Mary Lou MacDonald, leader of the Sinn Fein in the Irish Republic. Unfortunately, I had to sort of doorstep her as she left the stage in Enniskeane Parochial Hall here in County Monaghan. And I begged her to read the booklet and to contact us back, the Aaron Brady campaign, whether it be a negative response or otherwise. But there is an appeal that politicians couldn't get involved. That is not what we asked her to do. What I asked her to do that night was only to grant me a 5 or 10 minutes conversation with Councillor Anton Watters. But I still have heard nothing back from Sinn Fein, which is, to say the very least, worrying. Because I am sure there's a number of Sinn Fein councillors and politicians aware of Aaron's case. Obviously, because of the history of the party and unlawful and wrongful convictions, should be to the forefront of their mind. Well, that's our opinion. So that is what this group of videos below is in relation to. We cover all those aspects. And I think as you watch these videos, what you must understand is all the senior investigating officers who went on their junkets to New York, when they were sitting looking across the table at these people, they knew they were dealing with people who are involved with terrorist organisations. They knew they were dealing with persons who were wanted for £30,000 worth of cocaine, £30,000 worth of cash and ammunition and small amount of marijuana, and a person who absconded. They knew they were looking at a person who had robbed and stolen from those he worked with and those he knew, and a person who was involved in the Committee of Restorative Justice in Newry. And the Committee of Restorative Justice is a group who brings victims and perpetrators together. Christopher was not a victim. So I think that speaks for itself. And these men who give false statements against our son is still in America. So it cannot add up. It will not add up because it is a false narrative created by the authorities. If anyone has any questions in relation to this, if anyone has any more information in relation to these people, we have a lot of information in the background about their previous histories, about some of we'll say, Christopher, we know a great deal about your exploits up and down from Wexford, Waterford, before you left Ireland. So we have all that information sitting there. Information on Garda Síochána have about you too. So all this adds up, and as the campaign and as each part of the prosecution evolves, we'll be able to put that information forward at the correct and the right time. I think that's basically it. Please take an opportunity to look at some of the videos below. I think there's nearly 20 videos on this character. And if any of these three men, Cahill, Anthony, or Christopher, came forward and told the truth, it would blow this case out of the water. And the truth would be there to be seen. And the information these people have can be backed up by others. So, for example, there's a number of people who will back up the truth that Aaron Brady was not in the tombstone that night. He didn't join the wedding party or the group, the wedding people. There was a number of people from South Armagh in New York for a wedding. None of them seen Aaron until the Sunday morning, an All-Ireland final replay, and they met in Moriarty's. So Aaron was not on the tombstone on the Saturday night. So that can be backed up, Christopher, if you tell the truth. Anthony and Dano, if you want to tell the truth, that is were there the night you attacked Aaron on 28 First Street. There's a list of people who can confirm and seen Aaron that night and know that Ado, Davy, along with Dano and Anthony, attacked Aaron Brady that night in 28 First Street. A fact and details that Daniel Cahill denied under oath while giving his testimony from New York. So if anyone has any questions about it, we're more than happy. There's a lot of information, a lot of detail in the videos. And please, if there's something you're not happy with, something you're not sure about, please contact us and interact with the campaign, and we'll hopefully shed some light on the issue you raise. I think that's really it for this evening. We're going to have a look, I think, at Molly Staunton on Tuesday next. The reason I didn't start the American aspect with Daniel Cahill was, hopefully some of you seen today, I put up a live, the campaign, we had a live with Jem O'Doherty on Monday evening in relation to Daniel Cahill, an article that was in the Sunday World on Sunday, which was trying to cover up Daniel's tracks. Daniel went off script and obviously went on a live podcast and told us, I think you could say Daniel told us the truth in the podcast. He was stabbed a number of times before he left Dublin. He was involved with the Ryans, and he was involved and very close to criminality, all of which he denied while he gave testimony against our son. So once again, we thank everyone for following Aaron's campaign. Please, we need the numbers to subscribe and to notify, share, and please make comments. It does help the algorithms. Everything has been attacked. We're going to have to regenerate now new Twitter account, new Facebook accounts, because everything has been attacked. There's a reason why we're being attacked, because we are telling the truth. And I will say again, I've sent it in a number of videos previously. Evil will prevail when good people do nothing. So we're asking you please to do something. And if you do have a mind to do so, please contact a local politician, local public representative, and voice your concerns that there is something seriously wrong with the conviction of Aaron Brady. So once again, folks, thank you so much for joining us again this evening. We'll be back on Tuesday and we'll have the list of the videos then for Molly Staunton, the girl who was attacked and verbally abused while she was given testimony in Aaron Brady's case. And we'll have a look at that situation on Tuesday evening next. So thank you once again, and we'll see you on Tuesday, and have a good weekend. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.